Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Welcome to Heads Up Play. We are reporting live after Super Bowl 58. That's
Yeah,
City,
yeah.
the Kansas City Taylor Swifts beat the San Fran 49ers 25-22 in overtime.
I took the world to the A.
Take the
I took the
world to
world
the
to the A, baby.
Northwest did so good as her guitar solo rung through the world, and all my parlays fell flat on their ass.
It was a good weekend. I thought it was a great game.
It was
I
the
mean,
beginning of the game was boring as
it
all get
was.
out.
It was. It was a very defensive game, and as I've gotten older, watching both college football and NFL, I've come to appreciate more defensive games. Right, but that game, man, if the Chiefs didn't come back there in like late in the first half, I mean, it would have been a 17-0 deficit. If we can go ahead and get started, guys. But obviously, we're talking Super Bowl here, um, discussing this on a
Yeah,
Tuesday, episode 20. What is
20,
this? 23?
23.
23. Everybody, go ahead, smash the like button, smash it,
Yes.
or as we say in the South, mash it, mash
Mash
that
it.
like button,
Mash them taters.
mash that like button. Follow us on everything right there. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter/X. Follow us at all. Follow us on them all. And be sure to subscribe right here. Everything Southern
Show
sports,
some
all
love.
sports.
Show
We're
some
here.
love. Show some love.
Um, but overall, Chiefs do get the victory. Super Bowl 58. It's a repeat. It is now their third in what, 5 years? Third in 5 years?
years.
Third in 5 years.
So they're
Who do we
dynasty. They're
see?
dynasty.
They
They're
are most definitely a dynasty. You
dynasty.
have to say. I mean, Alabama was a dynasty after their third, in 5 years, I guess. In 2012, that's when, after Alabama destroyed Notre Dame, that's when everybody said that was officially a dynasty, right? Uh, so, I mean, you have to consider this a dynasty. I just wonder, though, do you think within the next month or so, or really any time prior to the start of next season, will Andy Reid retire? And if he does that change things with the Chiefs? How,
I don't,
like, are they,
I don't
or
think
is this all Patrick Mahomes?
I don't think he's going to retire. I think Andy Reid's there to stay. Personally,
I,
in my opinion.
I do think you have to try to go for the three-peat, but then again, it's like, okay, if you go for the three-peat and then you get it, what are you just going to say the same thing? Like, well, I have to go for four in a row now, right?
I definitely don't think he's going to retire. I mean, he's probably going to retire because he's going to kill Travis Kelce after the way he grabbed him up like that, snatched him up like that. But we'll get into that. But man, let me tell you, at the beginning of the game, you're right. It was such a slow game. It was a really defensive game. It reminded me a lot of the Patriots Rams game a couple years ago when it was 13-3. But if it wasn't for a South Alabama boy, the Kansas City Chiefs would have not won a Super Bowl. I mean, so you're welcome, Kansas City.
Yeah, poor old Darrell Luter, Jr., rookie this year.
Yeah,
Drafted out of South Alabama, one of the few players ever drafted from South Alabama, our alma mater.
yep.
Yeah, he was not the one who returned or was returning the ball. That's what I initially thought, but no, the ball kind
He
of
had off
bounced off of his foot.
and
Uh,
Ray tried to get it.
yeah, and which, I mean, if you're Ray McCloud, I mean, you got to go for the ball at that point. If you're Darrell Luter, I understand that's not entirely your fault, but you got to know where you're at, man. You got to know where you're at and where the ball's at. Like, come on, like this is a Super Bowl.
I mean,
Um,
but
all
both quarterbacks had a really good game, man. I'm gonna tell you,
Yeah, they did.
this might have
Yeah,
been
they did.
Mahomes' best offensive performance in a Super Bowl, in my opinion.
Most definitely in the second half and in overtime for sure. I mean, let's be real. 49ers defense was getting after him for
It
a lot
was.
of the
I'm
game.
about to say, I mean, it felt like, I mean, we've talked about on the podcast, like there was plenty, especially the Ravens. Nobody could get in the backfield on
No,
Mahomes.
he's so hard to sack, and I mean, you saw that watching the game, but I mean, Nick Bosa was getting after him a number of times,
Ace
like
Young
all
was
night.
getting back there. I mean,
Yes,
there was multiple people getting back there after him, but for him to still throw, pardon me, Ooh, bourbon, I just had a pub sub. For Mahomes to have throw for 333 yards for 34 for 46 with 2 touchdowns, and all he gave up was 1 interception, and that's pretty good stat line right there.
Yeah, and like you said, even Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, had a great game too. I mean, 255 yards, 23 of 38, and a touchdown. I mean, it was a
He
good
wasn't bad.
quarterback.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he wasn't bad. He didn't make no turnovers. I mean, I thought he was fine. I mean, I did think for a second there that, what's his name? Seth McLaughlin was the center for a couple of those snaps.
yeah, yeah, he got some bad luck there. I'll tell you though, I think the best quarterback performance or best passing performance though was the one and only Tennessee legend Jawan Jennings with a little trick play to score the first touchdown of the game, throwing it to Christian McCaffrey, who really was not even like I don't even know if it was a forward pass. I think it
He
was
was
a
so high.
dive.
My
It was
god.
so high and just like straight that I don't know if it was a forward pass, but Christian McCaffrey takes it to the house. And I mean, he had a great game as well, as he always does.
I'm about to say, I mean, if the 49ers would have won, it would have been tough to either give it to Jawan Jennings, who threw it was a 21-yard touchdown. He caught a touchdown, had 4 receptions, 42 yards. Plus, he had Christian McCaffrey, who had 22 carries for 80 rushing yards, 8 receptions for 80 receiving yards. I mean, my God, that dude is unstoppable. I
Yeah,
mean, he truly
he's
is a
great.
weapon. He is the most deadly weapon in the backfield in the NFL easily. But I mean, the defense, I truly believe the defense, especially in overtime, they was just tired against Patrick Mahomes. They couldn't stop him.
Yeah, I mean, they did so well all through the first half and much of the second half, but you just knew at some point the deficit was not enough, or the lead for the 49ers was not enough when the opposing quarterback is Patrick Mahomes. And look, I tweeted about it on our X about Tony Romo. I mean, all the NFL commentators just have Patrick Mahomes
Yeah,
thing down their
they
throats.
do that.
I
They,
mean, but you also kind of have to admit the dude is just, I mean, he's the best quarterback in the NFL. I mean, you can't argue that whatsoever. He is easily the best player in the NFL. So, I mean, they're right for sure. If there is anybody that you want at the quarterback position in the moments that the Chiefs had to come through, it was Patrick Mahomes. And he did. I mean, what's your take here? Because there's obviously this conversation coming up now about Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes. Is Patrick Mahomes on a better pace right now at age 28 than where Tom Brady was at age 28? I
I
don't
do
know
think
how many rings Tom Brady had when he was 28.
I do think that he is on a very good pace compared to Tom Brady. Do I ever think he'll catch Tom Brady? No.
I mean, he could, but he has to maintain his prime. And we
That's
haven't
the thing.
seen a running mobile style quarterback like Patrick Mahomes. And I don't want to say he's a full mobile style quarterback because he is a we haven't he is not a traditional pocket passer, and we
No.
have not seen one go the distance and stay in the game as long as a guy like Tom Brady. So I don't know.
I saw a question on Twitter, and it's a very good question. Who is closer to which GOAT? Is Patrick Mahomes closer to Tom Brady, or is LeBron James closer to Michael Jordan? I'd
I
probably
mean, I think age wise, you have to say Mahomes, right?
you'd almost have to.
Yeah, because I mean, he's just so much younger and he's already got three. So, I mean, let's just say Patrick Mahomes plays until he's, say,
38.
38. Yeah, I mean, I think I mean, that's 10 years, 9 or 10 years to get four more rings to tie. I think on the pace that they're on, I
Well,
think he most certainly could.
let me ask you a question. Who is a better who you think is the has more accolades? You have Dan Marino, who has almost every stat under his name, and he hasn't played in 30 years, or you have Patrick Mahomes that has 3 rings, even though Marino has no rings.
Yeah. Ah, I mean, I think everything comes down to the Super Bowl.
No,
I
you're
mean,
right.
you can have all the stats in the world, but everything comes down to getting that ring. That is the goal of everybody every season. And you're right, Dan Marino does not have a ring, and Patrick Mahomes has three. So I would say, and again, it's like it's so hard to tell because he is still not even 30 years old, right? We don't know what he can accomplish in the next phase of his career. We really don't. So I don't know how to answer that.
No, I mean, I get it. I do think this Mahomes Super Bowl, people are looking at it like, yeah, Mahomes, he kept the team together. It was the defense. The
It was
defense
most
is
certainly the
the
defense.
defense. This is by far the best defense Kansas City's ever had.
Yeah. And well, and this was a season that uh, myself included, many people didn't think that they were on the path to win another Super Bowl.
I
I
didn't
mean,
think so.
Travis
I'll say it.
Kelsey did not have a great year. I mean, up until the postseason. And let's talk about it. I mean, I forgot when in the game it was. I can't remember if it was late in the first half or somewhere in the second half. But I mean, he visibly just starts shouting and
It was like the
grabbing.
first drive of the game for Kansas City. Like it was like early in the game.
Yeah. Was it that early?
It was
Wow.
early. I'm telling it was early in the game. I mean,
Um,
it was one of
yeah.
those kind of things like I'm sure Mrs. Swift was not too happy with.
Did we hear what that was about? I saw Andy Reid talking about it like in the post game, but
I saw
obviously
when
it was probably
Travis
about something
Kel
about getting the ball or something. I don't know.
I think because he wasn't in on the last play that made it a 4th down and they had to punt the ball. But Travis Kelce, came out and said, I was just screaming on telling him how much I love him and stuff like that. I was like, okay,
Sure,
yeah, that's what it was.
sure. Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
definitely what it was.
how about a redemption story though? I mean, this is my player of the game, Mecole Hardman for the Kansas City Chiefs. You know, he started his career with the Chiefs, had a pretty good career with the Chiefs, and then he went and signed with the Jets. So he wanted to play with Aaron Rodgers and all that. And after, of course, Aaron Rodgers got injured after 4 seconds of playing for the Jets, their whole season was over. He only caught 1 pass in 5 games with the Jets, and then he gets traded, and, well, Lord and behold, he gets traded back to Kansas City, and guess what? He catches the game-winning pass in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, what a redemption story. I mean, I remember watching Miko Hardman at Georgia
Georgia, yeah.
tear apart Alabama in the national championship game.
Speed.
And yeah, he had a fairly good career so far, but yeah, definitely kind of went to the back burner, I guess, recently, and to come back and catch the game-winning pass, I was sure, I was sure,
He was gonna go to Kelsey.
and that it was going to go to Travis Kelsey,
You know,
just based on how everything was going.
if you watch, there was a couple of plays in the end zone, like 3 receivers were wide open, and then Travis Kelce was double covered, and they would throw it to him every time.
I mean, like, is it not a little weird? Like,
I'm
come on,
just
we've
telling
talked
you.
about the whole script thing before and how we don't really believe it's scripted, but like, some of this stuff is just
I don't think it's
off.
scripted. Let me tell you why. Because of the Buffalo Bills when they try to get DeMar Hamlin to run the ball, they get stuffed at the line. They're like, DeMar Hamlin's running the ball on the fake punt. Oh, it was like nothing. It was like, okay, dude, you're trying to make a storybook right here. But
Well, let me ask you before we get into more of the Taylor Swift stuff, because obviously we have to talk about it. Um, I want to talk about the 49ers. The 49ers are a bit of an older team. Not super old, but they're getting old. McCaffrey's been in the league for a while. George Kittle's been in the league for a while. Brock Purdy is young, but I mean, he's got all those weapons around him. Was this the year that if you're going to win the Super Bowl, the 49ers need to do so, or do you think they'll be right back there next year?
this was definitely the year. If you needed to win the Super Bowl, this is the year. Kansas City's offense was down. Your defense was up. I just hate it for San Francisco because you had Darius Greenlaw get injured in the game, tear his
Yeah.
Achilles, and he's a stud. You had George Kittle go out in the overtime. I definitely think Kittle, if somebody on the offense retires, it'll be Kittle, and then it might be that left tackle. What's his name? Trent Williams, who's probably the best left tackle in the game. I definitely think Brandon Ayuk is going to leave.
Mhm.
His brother posted on Instagram yesterday. You forgot about the person that got you here. How did the person that had over 1,400, like 11 or 1,200 yards receiving, only get the ball 3 times? Don't make sense. I'm like, kind of makes sense. You're right about that. So I definitely think they will not be back. in the championship. Why? Because the Falcons are gonna be representing the NFC. No, I'm kidding. Uh,
with Justin Fields or Jaden Daniels.
we can
Um,
we can get into the Falcon if the Falcons pick Dallas Turner at number 8 or Terrion Arnold. Lose it. I'm gonna lose it.
well, all right. So let's talk about the halftime show before we get
I mean,
into. So if
yeah.
we're getting into the entertainment side of things, so let's talk
1
about
out
the
of
halftime
10, how
show.
would you rank it? And then we can kinda go into it.
So, all right, I'm gonna give it a solid, and I'm a pretty generous. You know what? I'm not gonna be generous. I'm gonna go
I
straight
give it a
across the board.
6. I give it a 6.
I'll give it a straight six. Is right where I was going, because I thought that it was really slow in the first half of it,
Oh
and
god,
those are
yes.
only like 15 minutes. Those halftime shows. I thought the first 6 minutes or so were so boring. Oh
Really,
my
before
gosh.
Alicia Keys got on there, I was like, "What's going
Yes.
on right now?"
Everything
Like,
where he's walking through the field and stuff. I was like, is this gonna be it? Usually it's much more of a spectacle and everything. But then after Alicia Keys, and I really even wasn't a big fan of the Alicia Keys part, but after that, when he started bringing out Ludacris and Lil Jon, and he
and
started
more
getting into more of his big hits, especially when he started singing "Yeah," and then they played the little beat drop with the "Get Low," the boom, 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 boom. I was like, "Yeah, here we go." I feel like I'm back in college. Uh, that part to me was like a 9 out of 10. So it averages out for about a six.
I'm just telling you don't grab somebody like that unless you ain't smashing. He's smashing.
I mean, it is Usher though. I mean, he's
The way they
it
grabbed him.
is Alicia. So I read that Usher
He
supposedly
got
has a
married.
he got married
He
in
got
Las
married.
Vegas.
He got married in Las Vegas.
If I
Right
was
after
his wife now, I'll be like, come on now, bro, because
if
he
I'm
was like all up on
not even that, I would be like if I was Alicia Keys' husband, oh boy, because she wasn't, like, pushing him off. She was like,
she was into it. Yeah,
she was in it. It felt a little weird. It felt a little weird, but, that was okay. I'm gonna tell you, and I didn't know who she was before, but Northwest, aka her, her got on the side. She ripped it up, man.
on the guitar.
Oh
Oh
my
my
god,
gosh,
she
yes.
tore it up, and she did good. But I knew it was about to get crazy, and they don't show them, but you hear, "Oh, it's enough! Everybody shot!" And
When
they go over, "Turn down for what, down?" And as soon as they turn to him, you got a dude in the background going like 10 feet in the air, like flying in the air. Did you see that?
yes, look, it's I don't know if there's any artist out there right now that can get a crowd as crunk
That's
and as
Lil
hype
Jon.
as Lil Jon. I
Nobody
mean,
can.
all the hits. I mean, Get Low, Turn Down for What, Shots. I mean, Lil Jon is that dude. He can start a party. I mean, he could have had a Super Bowl performance himself
He
with all the
truly
hits
no,
he's got.
you're right. But when Lil Jon got out there, the vibe was different, and then you see the afro. I'm like, "Oh, man, it's about to get crunk. It's about to get it's." And I'm gonna be honest, out of everybody, I think he killed it the most.
Lil Jon or Ludacris?
Ludacris.
Ludacris, yeah, Ludacris.
Was that was Jermaine Dupri. I know that was Jermaine Dupri in the
Hmm.
suit. Was
Everybody
that
thought it was CeeLo Green.
I did too. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was CeeLo Green. I said, "That's CeeLo Green." Was that will.i.am in the hat?
Okay. My fiance Lindsay said that it was Will I Am. I think. Um,
I
but
originally
I didn't really get a good look at it.
I was like, "Oh my god, that's Kanye West." I was like, "That is an interesting
Well,
person."
and all he really said was, "Oh my gosh," which is what Will I Am says in that song.
It
I
looked
don't
like
know if that
will.i.am.
it might have been, but I feel like if you're gonna bring Will I Am out, you're gonna use it for a little bit more than just that.
No, you're right,
I
you're right. I was waiting for R. Kelly to come out because R. Kelly and
don't know.
Usher have a song together. But
I would love a R. Kelly Super Bowl commercial.
like a
Just
like a Zoom call.
yeah, just and have some fountains with some like yellow water coming out. Some yeah. That's
Mr. P Park from South Park in the back.
it's pee. Um. All
But
right.
I give it a 6 out of 10. It wasn't the best. I definitely think it's the second lowest since 2020 with Shakira being dead last, but I definitely think I was not impressed with it. I saw people saying it was so much better than Rihanna. No, you don't talk about Queen Bee like that. Queen Bee was pregnant.
For being pregnant, Rihanna put on a great show.
No,
I
I
mean, remember when she was like on top of that platform way up in the air? I was like, girl, you ain't got no like parachute or like
no.
harness on, and like you got another person in
My
you.
legs would have been shaking the whole time.
Yes. All right. So good, a pretty good Super Bowl halftime show. Not the best, but a solid one, I think. But all right.
I will say though, before we get started, F in the chat. Football season. We'll see you next year.
Well, look, we got to talk about Tay Tay. All right. I saw Skip Bayless. So I don't know where, or not Skip Bayless. I saw Stephen A. Smith. Someone had met Stephen A. Smith somewhere in the Super Bowl, somewhere in like a back alleyway somewhere. I don't know. And he had like interviewed Stephen A. Smith about the Taylor Swift thing. And he made like the best. I don't agree with everything Stephen A. says, but it was one of the best things I've ever heard Stephen A. say. He was like, enough is enough with the Taylor Swift thing. It's like at some point, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelsey both need to come out. Oh my goodness, need to come out themselves and say enough is enough. Like, do you is Taylor Swift playing into this? Because you got to know she's annoyed at some
I
point.
think they're annoyed. I like what Charles Barkley said. He said, "If you are really that worried about Taylor Swift, you a loser. You're a loser."
Saying, do you like? Why do we care this much? Why do we care? Like, I get it. Like, CBS probably look. You had a whole new audience come into the Super Bowl. This was the most watched Super Bowl, one of the most watched televised events I think in history, from what I saw.
And then, I don't know
And it
why.
was because of Taylor Swift. Let's be real. But come on, like,
I'm
and I
just
don't know if you saw it, but she did bring Ice Spice there for whatever reason. I didn't
I
know her and Ice Spice were buds like that. But there was a moment, and we don't need to get too conspiracy theorist here, but there was a moment where they like flashed the camera on the jumbotron in the stadium to Taylor Swift and her friend that was sitting there that was not Ice Spice, and they start chugging beers, like having a beer chugging contest. And Ice Spice is like to the left of them, and she's got an upside down cross necklace, and she like pulls the cross up, and she's doing some like satanic ritual type stuff. And of course, all the conspiracy theorists are out there going nuts about it now.
have not seen this.
Yeah, you got go look it up. Just look up Ice Spice Super Bowl satanic thing or whatever. You'll
Well, I'm
see
just
it.
telling you, Miss Taylor Swift and Mr. Travis Kelsey. There's a new couple in town coming for your throne.
Oh,
Kim Kardashian and Odell Beckham Jr. They are
it's
dating
an
now.
odd couple. That is so they did come out publicly. They did
She is
announce it.
at Vegas. That is, she is a cougar. She is 41. He is
Nice.
30.
Oh gosh, she sure is.
OBJ and Kimmy K.
Did you see the Kanye West commercial?
I did not. I saw that weird Robert F. Kennedy commercial.
That one was weird. So Kanye West made a commercial, and apparently it wasn't shown everywhere, from what I saw. But it was just him in a car. He had paid like the $3 million or whatever for a Super Bowl ad, and he's just in the car on his phone going, yeah, I spent all this money on a Super Bowl commercial, but I forgot to make the commercial. So just go to my website and I got shoes and all right, that's it. Bye." And that was the commercial. It was really weird.
Kanye,
Kanye is doing some weird
he
marketing
was in
here.
the airport this morning, and they said, "Kanye, do you have any comments on Israel and Palestine?" He said,
Oh God.
and he goes, "10 kids are dying every morning in my hometown. Y'all ain't talking about that." The dude said, "I'm sorry," and like walked off. Like, what do you do in that situation? I mean, like, I watched a TikTok the other day. And it was like cringy Kanye West moments, and the number one ever
George
is
Bush does not care about black people. Was that it?
yes,
Mm.
and Chris Tucker and Mike Myers go like their eyes just rolling. That one, or when Kim Kardashian is an interview with Kim Kardashian and Kanye, and she says, "I like our pool. I've never been in it though, but I really like our pool. But we need a jacuzzi." He goes, "Yeah, did you hear? We need a jacuzzi." I'm just
I've
he's
seen
a
that before.
he's just a He's a character. He's a
He is a character. Like, what's crazy is, as crazy as some of the stuff is that he says, I'm gonna be real. Some of the stuff he's right about. Like, I don't. I know he's a
he's
hot
really
figure right now, but
it's like
stuff like
it's like he'll get off like he'll make like a somewhat of a valid point and then he'll drop a tweet like, slavery was a choice.
yeah, um,
Like Kanye is just out there, man. I'm telling you.
yeah. I don't know what his deal is for sure, but all right. So that was the Super Bowl. I thought it was a good one. Let's early prediction Super Bowl 59. Who you got winning Super Bowl 59?
It's got to be the Chiefs because nobody can
Got to be
beat
the Chiefs.
Patrick Mahomes.
I will say this: I do think nobody can beat Patrick Mahomes, but it is so incredibly tough to three-peat. We've seen it too many times.
And give me the Atlanta Falcons.
Rise up,
Rise up,
rise
dirty
up.
birds, dirty birds. I brought the world to the A. Yeah,
The world. I'm
but
gonna go.
I don't really know who to pick from the NFC.
You know what? I'm gonna say, give me the Baltimore Ravens.
If
Because they no, you
somebody,
know what? No, give me the Cincinnati
I was
Bengals.
about to literally say, if somebody can beat Patrick Mahomes because he has done it, would be Joe Burrow, be Joe Shiesty.
Shannon Sharp and Chad Ochocinco, Chad Johnson, have a podcast together. They go on like super late at night, just smoking cigars and stuff, just talking random stuff. I don't know if you've ever watched it. And they got on there after the Super Bowl. And Chad Johnson, just like Kanye, is a weird dude. He comes up with some weird stuff to say too. He was like, "Let me tell you, Shannon. Let me tell you, Unc. The winner is gonna be the Cincinnati Bengals. Where the Super Bowl at next year?
New Orleans,
Where where Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase go to school?
LSU.
The script is
Is there
that's
is their show the one that Cat Williams was on saying that Kevin Hart was the part of the Illuminati?
that's not that's Shannon Sharp, like his like Shannon Sharp's gone into like a whole business, like media business for himself, I think. And like he's got the podcast with Ocho Cinco, and then he's got like a separate like thing where he brings in guests. But all right. So I did not look at it. Let me get it pulled up here. But ESPN comes out with their early top 25 rankings for college football every year, and you have some disagreements with it. But
I
let's go.
do
I'll
it.
go over the let's go over the top 10 real quick. So number 10, you got Utah, Alabama. They got all the way down to 9. Penn
Penn
State at
State.
8, Missouri at 7, Ole Miss is 6, Notre Dame at 5, Texas at 4, Oregon 3, 2 is Ohio State, and 1 is Georgia. I'm in agreement with a good bit of this, but like 2 in particular, I'm like, really 3. I
All right,
just,
let's start from 10. 10, Utah. Yeah, I'm cool with that. I agree. Alabama 9. I don't know if this is because Saban left or because Brian Grubb left Kalen DeBoer. But I definitely do not think that Alabama should be 9. There's no way that they should be over. Whoa, I don't know what that is. There is no way that Alabama should be over Penn State and Missouri. I mean, they should be over those two, but Penn State should be lower. Missouri should be low. I'm not saying Missouri is going to be bad, but they should not be the 7th team. 6, Ole Miss. I think they should be 5, to be honest. Notre Dame, BS bullshit. There's no way Notre Dame should be number 5. I don't agree with this whatsoever. They're always high on Notre Dame just because it's from the up north. I'm telling you, yes, you got a new quarterback in Riley Leonard. Yes, you got the offense coordinator from LSU from this past year. You got a couple of receivers, one from Clemson, one from FIU. You really gonna jump Notre Dame, a 3 loss to number 5 in the nation?
yeah, this is a team that, I mean, went 10-3.
You lost to
I mean, it's a good season, but like some of those losses were not good. And
Louisville and Jake Plummer.
yeah, who struggled against FSU with no with a third string quarterback. Um,
Yeah, Texas at 4, I probably would swap them in Oregon maybe, and then
um, I would swap them just because of the returning talent on Texas as
that's what
compared
I'm
to
saying, I would
Oregon.
swap Texas and Oregon, and then 2, I'm from the South, I'm an SEC guy. There's no way that Ohio State should be number 2, they should be number 1 over Georgia.
I think so too. I do like some of the moves that Georgia made. I do think Carson Beck will have a great season next year. I like Trevor Etienne at the running back position.
And then
I do think that they're
they got a stud wide receiver from Vanderbilt,
yes,
Landon Humphreys.
and I do think that their defense will be better this coming season. But I mean, just you got to put Ohio State at number one just with the moves that they made. I do think maybe the offensive coordinator thing, maybe that has something to do with them putting them at number two.
Which I
Um,
don't understand because Chip Kelly to me will be the best offensive coordinator in
yes,
the nation.
yes. No, I 100% agree. Um, I agree with Notre Dame being five. I don't even think Notre Dame should be in the top 15. I mean, what have they proven to jump all the way up to number five? Penn State at eight. Um, I think Penn State every year should just start at like number 16 because that's where they're going to end up every single year. We always ride Penn State super high in the preseason and they never beat anybody.
The 6th, 7th week of the week of the year is when they kinda
Yep.
uh,
Uh, Utah at 10 is fine. Alabama at 9, I'm right there with you. Of course, everybody's going to think we're Alabama homers because we are. I understand not putting Alabama maybe in the top 5 just due to the questions here, but we know what kind of coach Kalen DeBoer is. I understand Ryan Grubb is gone, which I'll get to here in a moment. Um, but I mean, like dropping them all the way to 9. I feel like you've got just as many questions with Missouri as you do with Alabama. Just as many questions with Notre Dame as Alabama. So I don't know why I put them at 9. I really
no.
don't. And
But so the
then
ESPN rankings are dumb anyways. I remember a couple years ago they had Mississippi State at like number 7.
yeah, yeah, it was. I mean, and they always would put Texas A&M, like number 5
Well,
or
they always
something.
put I mean, I think A&M's at let me look. I love it. They put Florida State at 15. I love it. They put A&M at
25.
25 and they put Miami at 24. Why?
Another team that they always ranked
Those
way
2
too
to
high.
me, I put that on my notes. Why? Those teams always underachieve every year. They're kinda
Well,
like how USC used to be.
I got to thinking about it because I was here. I had heard it on the radio the other day. Conversation about Mario Cristobal in Miami. Was it a mistake of Mario Cristobal leaving Oregon to go to
Yes,
Miami?
yes, yes.
100%.
I think if you're Oregon, you're thanking your gods, right? I'm telling you.
I mean, Oregon is a far better program than Miami is. I know Miami has a lot more history than Oregon, but I mean, you've got the blue bloods, then you got the new bloods. Oregon is most certainly a new blood, and you got all the money with Oregon. I don't know why. I know he's from Miami. He played at Miami, but it ain't working out. But I want to talk a little bit about the Alabama situation because it is one. So Ryan Grubb, who we all thought would be the offensive coordinator, and we talked about it before, but it is official. He is officially the offensive coordinator of the Seattle Seahawks. It kind of is rumors started swirling about that. I want to say a little over a week ago.
Out like Thursday, Wednesday kinda thing.
Right, but it never came from any reputable sources. You never heard like the Chris Lowe's, the Adam Rittenbergs,
Y
Pete Thamel. You
yeah.
didn't hear those guys reporting anything about it. It was all really like troll accounts on Twitter talking about it. But what's crazy is like all the troll Twitter stuff and the message board rumors have come true this offseason. It's really odd. So
Besides that tampering stuff,
yes,
but
yes.
that
That one was shot down really quickly. Um, but so Ryan Grubb, he's the new OC at Seattle. Which, if I'm the Seahawks, I don't fully understand that because you already have a first year NFL head coach.
yeah, why
Then
would
you're
you get a
gonna
first year OC? I don't know.
you're gonna bring in an offensive coordinator who's never. coached a game in his life in the NFL.
Yeah, I don't
I
understand.
know a lot of Seattle fans like it because they're familiar with him watching him at Washington, but I don't know about that move to be honest.
No, I agree. I feel like this is gonna be kinda like when Steve Sarkisian left Alabama to go to the Falcons, and he comes back. I just but,
I saw a good point by Joel Klatt kind of on that note that this does suck. I mean, let's be real. Ryan Grubb is a fantastic offensive coordinator, but it's also kind of like we knew that this would happen eventually. Like I figured,
next
I
year.
thought when we hired Kalen DeBoer that we weren't getting Ryan Grubb.
Yeah, I
It was
kinda
like
thought
a
he's gonna
pleasant,
be Washington's head coach.
yes, it was a pleasant surprise that we were getting Ryan Grubb. So, and I figured he probably would have, if we did get him, he would stay for 1 year and then get a head coaching job somewhere else, go to the NFL, whatever. Turns out he leaves earlier than that. That's
Yeah,
fine. But it's very much like Steve Sarkisian losing an offensive coordinator, Lane Kiffin losing an offensive coordinator, Josh Heupel losing an offensive
yeah,
coordinator. It's their offense. I don't think Kalen DeBoer's, while it does suck because you lose that play calling ability, I don't think this is going to be as detrimental as a lot of Alabama
that's
fans
what
think.
people think. No, I agree.
It came out today. Nick Sheridan, who was the tight ends coach and a former OC at
Indiana.
Indiana, is going to now be the offensive coordinator. I will not be shocked if they also promote Jamarcus Shepard as like a
As a
co-offensive
coach.
coordinator because
Like
I
a
thought he would be. If you're going to promote from within, I thought it would be Shepard.
I kinda think it'll be like Shepard will be like the passing game coordinator or
Yeah,
some
that's what he was at Washington, and then probably have Sheridan call plays, or maybe it might still be Kalen DeBoer calling plays, and it
well,
may just be Sheridan as OC to as
I'm
a fill.
curious who Alabama gets as the O-line coach because you lost not only an all great offensive coordinator, lost the Joe Moore award-winning offensive line coach.
If there's any loss, I really, as an Alabama fan, am more worried about that loss than I am the Ryan Grubb
I
loss, to be
agree.
honest.
I agree, yeah.
But I mean, I mean, on the same token, it's like you had such a horrible offensive line the past year. It's almost like almost anybody you get would be an upgrade. May not be the best of the best, but it might still be better than
Still
you
an
had last
upgrade. No,
year.
you're right.
So, um, but all in all, where are
Auburn
we at?
basketball still sucks. What?
All right. Do we want to talk about some basketball? Because we
Ain't much.
talk.
I mean, Bama's off this week. Yes, Auburn cannot win on the road.
When did we record this past
Yeah, let me.
Saturday or
We
Friday?
did. We did. We did. We did on Saturday. Saturday. We released
Okay,
something.
so we talked
We've already
about
talked
the.
about it. Yeah.
All right.
'Cause we,
Yeah, Alabama is off this week. You really have nothing going on
let me ask you a
basketball
question. I've
wise.
been reading and seeing rumors that they're fed up with John Calipari. If you're an Alabama fan, would you be upset? I mean, yes, you're gonna be upset, but you can't blame NATO's for going to Kentucky because I think that's gonna happen.
You say you do think he'll go to
I think I
Kentucky if
think,
offered?
I
I
think
think he probably would too. Um,
but at the end of the day, we're a football school. Let's be honest. Like,
yeah. Look, I mean, and you couldn't be mad at him because he's brought you so much in terms of basketball. He's built the program up. It's like you could because of just having Nate Oates and what he's done in these past few years. I mean, you could go and hire some really good coach, um, and not have to rebuild, right?
yeah,
But if I'm Nate Oates and I'm offered the Kentucky job, I would have to take it, and I would say that because look, you are a football school at Alabama, like you said, and look, Alabama, despite the success in basketball, they really have still kind of yet to delve its resources into basketball. I mean, we've been talking about getting a new arena for
yeah.
3 or 4 years now, and we got some renderings for one, but they haven't started construction on anything. If you want to keep Natos, you got to get a new
You
arena.
gotta
He
open
has
up the
made that clear.
checkbook. You gotta open up the checkbook. No, I agree.
Have to, have to. So I mean, I would not be mad at him if he
Oh,
did.
let's talk about it. Let's talk about what do you think about the new retro jerseys Alabama got?
I like him. I'm seeing a lot of that Block A coming
Hey, but
back with the elephant, which is my favorite Alabama
I think
logo.
that's the best one. Yeah, I feel like, and
Um,
I know it's gonna sound bad. Saban retired. You gotta kind of put the Saban logo to rest.
maybe. I just like that block A. I think
That's what I'm saying.
Kalen DeBoer is wearing it left and right.
That's what I'm saying. Bring back the block A. Let that be Kalen DeBoer's thing.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. As soon as I saw him wearing like a jacket or something with that on there, I was like, "Ooh, I like that."
But if
Oh yeah.
you remember when Saban came, it was kind of the block A, and then he went towards the A.
Yeah, you remember like the early 2000s like in the Mike days, it was like it had the elephant and it was kind of like I guess like shoulderless elephant, you know, Big Al with like block Alabama under it. Um that
But,
one was not a very good logo in my opinion. Um
but I definitely want the block back. The block is the best.
it is so I like, you're seeing a lot of college teams go for kind of the retro look these days, kind of the vintage thing going on.
These
And I
jerseys
like that.
remind me of the old Memphis jersey, like basketball jersey. You know, where it says like
Yeah, those were nice.
eight.
Word on the street is rumor I heard. I heard this on the next round, and they said that they heard it from somebody. Rumor, so it's just a rumor, probably not true. But rumor is that they're also going to make the center court logo the
The
old
block.
block A, which would look sick.
Well, we need it because my God, Nate Oates. The only team that he cannot beat is Texas A&M. He is 3-0 in the regular season against A&M and 1-3 against them in the playoff and like tournament. And the one time we beat them was the SEC championship.
Well, and Texas A&M just, I mean, slaughtered the Tennessee Volunteers,
And
who
watch
slaughter
out,
us.
Texas A&M's on upset alert right now. They're down 2 points at Vandy right now.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Yes, it might have changed, but the last
Dang.
time I saw, they're down 2 points. It was 40. Let me double check. Right now, and what A&M took the lead back 46-44 with 12 minutes to go in the second half.
How that?
The game's tomorrow night. It's South Carolina and Auburn. I think Auburn's going to blow them at the gym.
Yeah, Auburn coming off a tough loss on the road to Florida. They're back in Neville. Yeah, it's not setting up good for South Carolina. South Carolina on 11 and a half points is the favorite for Auburn. Um, and look out, Tennessee goes on the road to Arkansas, who has had a bad season. But maybe they'll rally around with big old number 8
They did
Tennessee
last
coming
week.
in.
They did last week
Yeah.
against who they play last week. I told you that was going to be the upset. Who they beat? I got to look. It was Saturday, wasn't it? It was Georgia. They upset Georgia. But well, tell them. Speaking of Georgia, tell them where we're going in May, Sam. We're going on the road. All of us.
Yeah, announcement kind of came together last night. Heads up play going to ATL Atlanta. We are going to our basically annual Braves game. Me, you, and J Dub, John. We'll be going there May 18th, Saturday, for the game against the Padres. So
Yeah,
if we got any heads up play fans, any 60, what do we got? 63, 61,
it's,
63?
we had 67.
Any 67 of y'all at the battery, come on and say
In a photo.
hello. Take a photo. I mean,
And y'all be ready. Y'all be ready because yesterday was my birthday. I'm gonna tell y'all something. My wife, she's the best. She got me and Sam some merch. So y'all be ready on these next few podcasts. We might be having some heads up play merch.
might be getting some t-shirts, some hats, some
Sweatshirts.
stickers, maybe a little car decal. Never know.
So she
Yeah.
got me. She hasn't came in yet, but she ordered me a sweatshirt. It's a
Mm,
blue logo with a white. I guess the
okay.
white sweatshirt with the blue logo.
I like that. I like that.
So
All right. Question of the day. You got a question of the day.
I got it on the website. I got it on a website. I don't even
You
know
got
what
it
it
on a
is.
website.
I looked it up on Google. Question of the day: what would you do if you had 24 hours all to yourself without anything important to do? Jerky.
Eat jerky all day.
I would be a master at baiting, a master debater.
Yes, master my skills at baiting hooks to go fishing.
No, what would
Um,
you do if you had 24 hours all to yourself without anything important to do? Well, I would read a good book and enjoy a
I would
happy.
Um, I've had 24 hours on myself before, as I'm sure you have too. I mean, just which is great. Just I mean, like time to just do nothing. All right, I'll give you two answers. One, if money is an object, and two, if money is not an object. All
Okay.
right. If money is an object, I'd honestly probably just sit at home. Uh, for those that don't know, I live in Gainesville, Florida. I think I've made that clear a few times. Um, Probably find me a sporting event here. I love going to the Florida sporting events, whether it's a baseball game. The basketball games here at Florida are a lot of fun. Went to one the other day. Talked about last episode. So maybe find something, maybe go to that. I don't know. And then probably just chill, play some video games,
And
watch
record an episode of Heads Up
and record
Play.
an episode as a play. I mean, what else? I mean, um, the best part of my week. And if money is not an object, I'll probably take a vacation somewhere. I don't know. Where would you, if you had a dream vacation? What's your
Wait,
dream
well, let me answer
vacation?
the let me answer the 24 hours.
Okay, go ahead. Let's
If
hear it.
money's an object, then I'm watching TV all day, watching movies all day, and then at night I'd go to like a sporting event. Now, if I money was not an object, I would go to college football day. I would start at 11 o'clock, leave about the third quarter, fourth quarter, fly to another place, go to the 3 o'clock slot, fly to another spot, go to the 7 o'clock spot, and then I'd go somewhere else and do the 9 o'clock Pac-12 at dark, but used to Pac-12 at dark after dark. That
All
would be
right,
my day. It is
all
a
right.
dream vacation, dream vacation.
My dream vacation is Pigeon Forge.
Dollywood. I wanna
The
meet Dolly.
Dutch Shores.
I wanna
Yeah,
go
we
to
going to
Hangout
Navarre, baby.
I wanna go to Hangout Fest.
Let's go to Rock the South. That's
Let's go I wanna go to Milton, Florida. You ever been to Milton? It's great.
yes.
Love it.
Yeah, Milton and Pace. Hell,
I
we go
wanna
see Sandy Sansing, and not in Car City.
I wanna go to Daytona. I wanna just drive my Civic on the beach, not get out. I don't know what my dream vacation would be. Biloxi. No, I don't know. Um,
Southern town.
go to Houston. I don't know. I heard Detroit's lovely this time of year, and
Yeah, take it from me. Um,
I'd probably go to Baghdad.
my dream vacation. To me, I've always wanted to go to Australia. I've always wanted to go to Australia.
I've kind of always wanted to go to. I don't know. I would do like a month-long cruise.
Just a month long. You love a good cruise.
I do. I do like a good cruise. I want to go to Bahamas. I don't know. I hate the Bahamas. I'm gonna be honest.
I've been in the Bahamas like eight.
I've been there in Cozumel. I feel like everybody if you do a lot of cruises, like if I asked your parents, I know your parents they do how many times they've been to the Cozumel or
I mean,
Bahamas.
my parents have been on like 28 cruises. Honestly, half of them have gone to Cozumel at least.
Especially if you're going out at New Orleans, Mobile, or like a Port Canal,
Anywhere out of the Gulf of Mexico, like the Gulf
you're going to
Coast,
Cozumel.
you're going to
Your
Cozumel.
ass is going to Cozumel or
And
the Bahamas.
I actually like Cozumel.
I
I
love
do. I
Cozumel.
mean,
Love it.
but I'm only going there to drink. Like, I mean, I don't care about going and swimming with dolphins. going, I'm
I
going to
want to
Senor
swim with
Frogs. I'm going to Three Amigos, and I'm drinking them
when
kitchen
I go to
sink
the
drinks.
Bahamas, I want to go to get harassed and swim with the pigs.
Big Beach, yeah, yeah.
The pig beach.
All right, I got a question for you.
Okay.
Kind of get back on the sports grind. All right, out of all the cities in America, you can go to one city and you get free tickets to all three of the big sports team, like at least three of the four big sports teams there. Like if they may not have four, right?
Atlanta.
Other than Atlanta, other than
Okay.
Atlanta. All right,
Um, Cincinnati. No,
big Reds fan.
I'm big Reds. Love the Bengals. No. What was I gonna say? It's either Los Angeles or Boston.
Oh, Boston would be. I was gonna say LA, but Boston is a good one. Or do you
Boston is
go
a
to
re
Fenway, the
you go to
Bru
you
the
go to the
Bruins,
you go to the Brew or the
and
Celtics.
or the Celtics, or the Patriots.
That's what I'm saying, that's a good one. That's probably what I would do. I would be either Boston or Chicago. I don't know though, New York would be a good one too. 'Cause you can go to Shea Stadium or the New York Yankees, you can go to Madison Square Garden, or you can go to, the Jets and Gi that field sucks,
The
but
left, yes, stadium's terrible. I would, all right, it's for me, it's
Oakland,
two
Oakland.
points. Yeah, Detroit.
All
Um,
all the sports play in one stadium in Oakland.
I'm going to Birmingham. I'm gonna go see the Barons and the Stallions
And
and the what's the basketball, the G League basketball team
squadron
there?
the
The
squadron
Squadron.
live from the BJ. I made a tweet today. So, Boston College, they hired Tim Lewis to be their defense coordinator. And for those that don't know, Tim Lewis was the head coach of the Birmingham Iron. And they put on there like Tim Lewis. He coached a while in the assistant. I said I forgot to mention he was the legendary head coach for the Birmingham Iron.
All right, let's be real here. Birmingham has destroyed it in the football leagues they've had with the Birmingham Iron and the
They
Stallions.
the same back to back champions. They're the
Back-to-back
old.
champs. The Iron like went to the championship. Like they've
They
been
got
killing
stopped
it.
because of COVID, but no, I'm
Yeah.
telling you, you're right. Like the Birmingham football team is there. It's just nobody goes. Like,
Nobody goes at all. Nobody gives crap
well, I
whatsoever.
don't like when they say, "Well, we thought about putting an expansion team in Birmingham, but like nobody goes to the football games there that they already have." No offense, but you really think I'm gonna go watch a Birmingham Stallions game? Like, if you put an NFL team, people will show up. Like I don't even know how you can compare that kind of thing.
Yeah, I feel like if you look, college football will always rule Alabama, but I do think an NFL team could do pretty
Well, my
good.
thing is, like, if you wanna say that, then let's look at the Louisiana. Do you really I mean, I think LSU rules over the Saints.
Yeah, and New Orleans is not that much bigger of a city than Birmingham.
That's
Yeah,
what
you got a team in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and they're one of the most historic teams in the league.
I don't understand that. I mean, Nashville is about to get a baseball team. Like, come on, when is Nashville and yeah, it's a tourist site, but, like, come on.
That one's gonna be tough for me because the South is just so Braves heavy.
You
This
I'll be curious to see what Braves fan defect to the National. It'll be really I know it's gonna sound bad, once the Braves suck and then, like, if this Nashville team ever does well.
if Birmingham was to get a MLB team, would you ever consider switching?
No, I wouldn't.
I would not.
I could
I'm too invested
I
into
I too
the
I mean, I got so much stuff, like, I couldn't do it. I mean,
yeah,
like,
I've
it'd be like
invested too much money.
if they were, like, an American League team, maybe I would like them, but, like, especially if they're, like, in the NL East, no, they can go piss off.
I tell you what the Braves should do is because there is such a big Braves audience in Alabama, they really should when the minor league teams don't carry all they're not affiliated with their major league team forever, right? Like
Yeah,
the Barons have been with the White Sox since
forever.
Michael Jordan,
Yeah.
right? But eventually they won't be. So I want to say like whenever the Barons leave the with the White Sox, the Braves need to
It
pick
don't
them
make no
up.
sense. Any of the teams in Alabama are nowhere near Alabama. You have Chicago White Sox with the Barons. You have the Trash Pandas with the Angels. You have
The
the,
Razor with the
Biscuits.
Biscuits.
I
I think
thought the
that's it.
I thought the Brewers with the Biscuits.
No, that's the Rays.
The
Now the Mobile Bay Bears used to be with the Angels, but remember
the
the
Pandas, yeah, the Pandas are
the
now there.
Pandas had Huntsville for a while did not have a double A team. They did have one in the Huntsville Stars or the Huntsville Rockets. I think it was the Stars,
It was the
but they
Stars.
disbanded, and then like 10 years later, Trash Pandas came up.
Who's the biggest team in the state of Alabama minor league wise? It's either between the, Birmingham Barons. I just say Birmingham Barons just because 'cause they've been around the longest.
You know, I would growing up in Birmingham, I would have said the Barons. But I've spent some time with people from Montgomery. They love the biscuits, man. My fiance is from Selma. My
It
J
truly is.
Dub is from
It's like their
Montgomery.
Barons game because growing up, I've been to plenty of Barons
Yeah,
games.
I mean that's just you get the tickets for $5 and you just go on a Saturday
That
night
was
in the
like your
summer.
typical, like, youth trip, like, "Hey, let's go watch the
Yes,
Barons game."
yes. Go to the Barons game
I've
at
been
the
more
Hoover Met.
yes, 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 yes. And then they moved in the Regions Field. Got a what's it called? A barbecue place.
Dreamland.
So they got a Dreamland in there. I remember.
Yeah, got some good barbecue nachos. And then I don't know about the Trash Pandas, but I know like them Huntsville people love them too. They got a beautiful
They
stadium
do.
with the lazy river and stuff there.
I was driving up there the other day for work, and I saw that they're building a massive parking lot up there
Really?
for the Hush.
I haven't been to Huntsville in years and years.
I kind of think Huntsville gets a little bit of overhyped, in my opinion, but we can get about that another day.
It's very just like a
I
giant
think
circle
Dothan is the
around.
biggest city in the state of Alabama, and it's the greatest city of Alabama. I love you, baby.
Hell, y'all need a double 18 in the dot. I mean, y'all get some people there.
Why do we need that when we have the Peanut Festival?
Yeah, y'all can just go
We
watch the Super
rule
Baseball.
supreme. Why?
All right, let me ask you this for before we end the podcast. A date night in Dothan that's not like a chain restaurant. Where do you go?
Well, you just go outside and you grab you a handful of peanuts, and yeah, Merry Christmas.
There you go. All right.
No, man, in Dothan, man, you ride the circle, and then you grab some peanuts and just munch on some nuts.
Yeah. All right,
It's like
guys. I think
a Texas Roadhouse wherever you step. No,
I was there last night. Hey, Gainesville ain't that much different. You just got college. All right, guys. I think that does it. Episode 23 Heads Up Play. Remember, like, subscribe, follow us on
no.
everything right there. We'll catch you next episode. Episode number
Hey, yo,
24. We out. Heads Up Play.
play, heads up, play.
Bye.